It was a laugh that didn't belong to those in pain, not the soft, broken sound that slips out as a defense, nor the weary chuckle of someone trying to survive their own truth. No, this was sharper, like a wound being twisted. It was the kind of laugh that made it clear you were the joke, and the punchline had been delivered years ago. I stood in the hallway, still damp from the shower, holding a half-full drink. The house was warm, the air faintly tinged with perfume and cheap wine. Her friends were there, 3 of them, each a little too loud, too drunk, and too comfortable. I wasn't meant to be there. They thought I had gone to bed. And then I heard it. Her voice, laced with alcohol, casually saying, "He's too clueless to realize I've been cheating for years." The laughter that followed wasn't just noise. It shook the walls. One of them clinked their glass, another wheezed. I stood there for a while, letting the drink warm in my hand. The condensation slid down my fingers like sweat. I didn't say a word. I simply turned, walked back to the bedroom, and sat at the edge of the bed like someone who had just remembered something horrific in the midst of a dream. Silence is underrated. People think it's a sign of not knowing what to say, but sometimes silence is a scalpel, cold, clean, and precise. I didn't confront her. I didn't scream. I didn't even change the sheets. I just waited. You see, the thing about betrayal is that it isn't just the act itself. It's the rehearsed ease with which it happens, the casualness with which it lives inside someone, the muscle memory of lies. I should have seen it, the late nights, the sudden hobbies, the passwords that changed like the weather. But love has a funny way of distorting things, making you overlook what's right in front of you. I should have noticed the way she stopped kissing me like she meant it. How she began to look at her phone like it was a lifeline, not just a tool. Once, I caught her smiling at a message she didn't want me to see. She lied about it, quick as if swatting away an annoying fly. But that smile stuck with me. It wasn't meant for me. We had been married for 11 years. I had built bookshelves for her, painted the nursery myself, even though it remained empty. I remember how she used to say she loved the way I made coffee, calling it my love language. I didn't know love languages could expire. A week passed since that night. I said nothing, slept beside her like I was made of stone. I watched her play the part, laughing at my jokes, texting under the covers, kissing me with just enough effort to keep the illusion going. It was like watching a puppet show you've already seen, knowing the strings are there but no longer caring. Then came the day she showed up crying. It was a Tuesday, cloudy. My phone buzzed, 10 missed calls, 2 voicemails. I ignored them. When she arrived at the door, her makeup was smudged like ink. I didn't feel anything. I just opened the door and watched her break down. She told me she had made a mistake, that she was confused, that she was sorry. And for a brief moment, I saw the girl I married. Not the woman who had weaponized my trust, but the girl with paint on her jeans and stars in her eyes. That's the worst part, isn't it? Grief doesn't hit all at once. Comes in little echoes of who someone used to be. She asked if we could talk. I stepped aside, letting her in. She moved through the house as though it were a crime scene, as if she could feel the weight of what she had done. She sat on the couch, the same place she had laughed from that night. I didn't join her. I stood across the room, handing her a manila envelope. Her hands trembled when she opened it. Inside were photos, messages, hotel receipts, and a copy of the private investigator's report I'd hired the day after hearing her confession. There's a moment when someone realizes they've lost control, and it's still quiet, like all the air has been sucked from the room. I watched her read, watched her unravel slowly. She asked why I hadn't said anything sooner, and I told her I wanted her to finish the act. She begged. I listened, but it was like listening to static. Her words didn't matter anymore. They were just noise. What people say when the truth burns too hot to handle. She asked if there was someone else. I laughed, not because there was, but because she thought this was about someone else, as if my pain could be replaced by another person, as if people are interchangeable. I didn't throw her out. I just left the room, packed a bag, and left the house to her. I had already signed the papers. Quietly, efficiently. She didn't even notice the accounts had been divided. Funny thing about betrayal, It doesn't end with a bang. It ends with indifference. Now I live in a smaller place. No garden. No second sink. But the silence here is honest. Sometimes I make coffee the old way, just for myself. Sometimes I catch the light in a certain way. And I remember what it felt like to believe that someone could never lie to you. But mostly I sleep. And that, I think, is the real ending, not revenge, not justice, just peace. The kind that comes when the storm has passed. And all that remains is the wreckage and the quiet realization that you're still standing.